Good morning, everyone. I felt like I needed to make this one on the porch here because it's I assume that believers in our Heavenly Parent, our Father in Heaven, God, the deity, have their own communication, right, with Him, the parents, which encompasses both male and female. So, in a way, though we say Father, God, as a woman, my Father in heaven understands me perfectly, right? You know, he's the one who created me, right? Though I have to wonder, man, menopause is torture. It's just torture. It's absolute torture, right? It is. More torture, right? Ah ha ha. Spirit world's like, well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, all right. Okay, so while I had my give and take this morning with my Father in heaven, he said, Daniela, he seldom calls me by my name. I'm usually the true daughter, beloved daughter, something like that. Calls me by my name. I paid attention. Daniela, are you content with your life? And I thought, my immediate response is going to be yes. I said, okay, if I say yes to all of it, I'd be lying. What did I just say about menopause, right? One example. If I'd say no, I would also be lying. So what is it? Okay. What doesn't kill you, all right, does you in, completely put you in the dumps, I don't know what, then you're okay. Oh. But I couldn't answer the question. I thought, so what is it again? And the principles of love are freedom of will, are freedom of choice, which that's what it is, are the principles of love, are very important to our Father in heaven. And I thought about that. Okay, so what now? There was something that came up recently. And it was again about homosexuality. And of course, homosexuality now has progressed into all these different other areas of on what love is, could be, how it is expressed, how you have no choice in a way, this or that. And the thing is, yes, we do. And I thought back through all my life when I was confronted with that, an odd syndrome, which though in other videos I explained on how spiritually that becomes possible and on how people don't have, and that's not just for homosexuals, okay? That's even for heterosexuals, where suddenly the desires of a spirit or spirits that are around you take away your freedom of choice when it comes to the principles of love. Yet, all through my life, having been confronted or come across the syndrome of a man loving a man or a woman loving a woman, okay, I was never around. I have never seen myself, persecution of said people. Nor did I feel like needing to persecute them or judge them or be against it and voice that out loud in a way that would be violent, hurting someone, okay, physically, even mentally or psychologically. And I've lived in different countries, different continents. And in my surroundings, with people like that, and their choices of who to choose in the realm of love and to be with, I've never come across that negativity towards them. Never. Here in the mountains, where one would think conservatives, mountain people, kind of this, there is a history here of pedophilia and incest. So homosexuality between men and women isn't okay. Just saying, right? I haven't seen that here either. In fact, the tolerance of the acceptance of said people was phenomenal. So what is it? What is it that people stay in the coming out of the closet? What the heck are you talking about, coming out of the closet? Coming out of your bedroom? Well, to just say that, okay, I'm sorry, coming out of your bedroom? How is that any different than someone coming and said, yeah, I'm a swinger? I didn't even know what that was for a long, long time. What the heck is a swinger? Well, that's when, oh, you mean an orgy? Love orgies. I mean, nude, with other people all around watching you, this snack, getting their kicks. Wow, that's woohoo! And again, swingers. So what's that all about? Oh, wait a minute. Let's go much farther back. How about men who have multiple women? Multiple wives? Let's take one more, and concubines. You got a main wife and then concubines. What's the difference? Why do you have them? There's only one reason why a guy would have more than one woman, right? For only one reason. To have what? More exciting sex? Experience your lust or something? I mean, right? Yes? The odd thing people like to bring up to me when I say certain things about that, on how, no. In Genesis, it is very clear why Adam and Eve had to leave the Garden of Eden. And it isn't that hard to figure that out. When you look at the one thing, when they covered, suddenly they covered. Eve covered her breasts and her holy parts. And so did Adam. Right? Okay, must have done something with that, didn't you? Adam and Eve. So right at the beginning of the Bible, it's very clear, right, what the transgressions were. Oh. Didn't obey. Don't eat of the tree, the fruit of knowledge and evil. Evil. God already had something in the Garden of Eden that was not, well, we've got to remember when the Bible was written, right? Certain things were already in existence at that time. Most likely it was just the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, not the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Knowledge. Knowledge is, right? Knowing the difference in what is right and wrong, per se. Knowledge enhances our understanding of anything. Then Jesus was very clear as well, one man, one woman. So the discrepancies in the realm of love, unchanging the principles of love that are unchanging, as are the principles of creation, right? Yes? Some people ask me, so what are those? Okay, if you do not have, as a human being with a functioning heart to mind, do have absolutely no understanding on what that is, then how am I going to, in a short amount of time, where you're actually willing to listen, going to explain that? This is something that people have to research on their own. The Bible, yes. The divine principle, yes. Knowing nature, yes. We had a copperhead in the garage a couple of days ago, and my husband was standing around and said, you better move forward because there is, and he stepped forward. Sure enough, that thing started moving like crazy. And I said, we gotta get that. Yeah. So here I go, run for a shovel, together we took care of it. It was the biggest copperhead head I've ever seen in my life. It was huge for the size of the snake. It was huge. And I was going, are we having a cross here between rattlesnake and copperhead suddenly? It was weird. It was a huge head. It was bigger than anything I've ever seen on a copperhead. Really big. Ew, are they mutating? I hope not. Snakes. Really? I could have probably just left it alone in it somehow, but it was trying to get into the basement. Now, okay. It's like, it's one of those things, right? Yes. Anyway, to get back to copperheads. They're everywhere right now. I've seen so many posts of, they were in the Porsches. It's probably because of the extra rain that we're having. They're trying to find some drier grounds, right? Yes, something. So, there is that. If one knows that, okay. But again, to get back to, so what am I being told out there by a community that has these odd concepts about what the principles of love are? And why am I being told that they are suffering so much in this snap? Because, as I said, never in my life have I come across a situation, okay, where they couldn't just express themselves, couldn't be who they were, that I would stop them or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I stop people from getting into it here and going, hey, no, how about not? This is private stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with if, as a human being who operates outside of the norm, okay, of the principles of creation and the principles of love, then you want validation. You want people to accept something. You're having a hard time accepting yourself. And why is that? You see? And even though it isn't normal. That's just what it is. But again, freedom of will, freedom of choice. Yes? Well, here's the thing. Now you want me, right? So you feel better. You want me to accept something. I already know this is not going to make you happy. This is not part of what a human being is supposed to be, as a man or as a woman. And in order to get that, right, you're now letting me know, or others letting me know, oh, there's this misery out there, this being not accepted, and this, that. Well, let me ask you this. If we were all under the principles of creation, just like the animals, then you would have a couple of times a year, right, where you become really excited, this snap for procreation, right? And then that would be it. And otherwise, you wouldn't have that drive. Well, then what? Then what? Right. But because we are created in the image of God, we were given that choice. We were given that right to make the right choice. There has been a lot of abuse in the realm of the principles of love. And anytime abuse happens anywhere, things change. They become unnatural. A child that gets abused from early on most likely isn't going to turn into a proper functional adult. Yes? If the principles of love are being abused all over the world by so many people, there is going to be a consequence, right? Yes? Here's the other thing, too. If abnormalities within the principles of love are becoming more and more normal, then we can't, then where does it stop? Then pedophilia, men and women, it's not just men, it's women too, needing to have sex with children, then will also go in the same direction. Well, no, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Swingers, people who are considered nymphomaniacs, this and that, men who have to sow oats until they run out or something, women who sell their bodies, this and that will all, right? Watching pornography, child pornography. Like, you're not touching it, it's just watching, right? Yeah. It all's going to go into the same realms of accepting. I mean, abortion is another one. Right? It's all within the principles of love, where we make a choice to either love or hate. Let live or kill. Oh. Anyway, so again, I'd like to ask people out there who are queer. I can't get used to that word, but I will eventually. Again, I'm not going to learn all your pronouns out there, okay, and all that. That's up to you. Yeah. You want to correct my speech while we're with you this night? I'll probably give you this look of, really, that's the most important thing on your mind, is making sure that I'm learning a new language so that you feel more accepted. And why do you need that? Like giving you the okay. Well, I'm not giving you the okay. I want you to heal. I want all of you out there to heal according to what the principles of creation are and the principles of love are, on being a human being. And yes, that starts with your spirit. That starts with acknowledging who created you. And eventually it comes to, how's your life? Has your life been all right? Asking. Caring. Most likely asking because you need to be asked, right? Yes? Our own desires, our own lust, our own ideas on what the principles of love are, we want them to be, and find acceptance through, right? Yes? From everybody, is really damaging. to all of humankind. It's not that you're just asking. As I said, I've never not. I said, well, I'm sorry then. Had my conversations, just never said, oh, you can't stay here or something. Or I don't want to be around you. It's never. I've never done that. I've never seen anybody else around me do that. And I know from the greater communities I lived in, that didn't happen either. So you have to ask yourself again, where were you? What situations were you in where you were persecuted and judged? Did you make that choice? Were you there because? Or who enticed you? Who snared you in? Brainwashed you into believing that everyone's against you? Who did that? And now, more and more, right? People with unnatural desires when it comes to the principles of love, and that's not just homosexuals, pedophiles, swingers, prostitution, pornography, nymphomaniacs. What else is out there? Oh my gosh, it's a never-ending story. Child prostitution. How the heck does that work? It's something that is going to be pushed more and more on something that, what am I going to do about it? It's happening out there. But I more and more am being told you have to accept the deformed reality of people when it comes to the principles of love. And that's not acceptable. And I'm not going to tell people what to do out there. Absolutely not going to do that. But I'm not giving you permission to do it either. So there it is. That's taking responsibility in many ways. Where if we continue to just focus on areas in the principles of love that are very destructive to everyone, really, when it comes, especially children, then where is the sanctity of the relationship of a man and a woman? Where is that going? The proper structure of a family, where is that going to go? I asked this already. What if you didn't have that freedom of will and freedom of choice? What if the only time you would have an orgasm is when you procreate, and otherwise it wouldn't happen? Interesting? Yes? What then? One wouldn't have a problem changing real fast, would one? Oh! Spring's coming up. Getting ready. Right? Fall's coming up. Whoop! Get ready. Right? Yes? Isn't that the truth? Really, when you think about it, that would be the truth. Anywho. So, yeah, I get it. You do what you want out there. But as far as, and I don't have a beef against anyone. I don't. But you don't get to force that on other people. You don't get to force that on other people who really, when it comes down to it, have never done anything to you. It's you yourself who are not happy. It's you yourself who deep down knows something ain't right. And you want the rest of us make it right for you by saying, yeah, we're good with it. We accept this. You see, I'm not going to accept it. I want you to heal from whatever trauma that may have something to do with your ancestors, something that happened to you. And that's what I will pray for all of you out there. And remember, if you accept the one thing, then we'll have to accept things that are absolutely not okay and where children are forced. Okay? I would say, beware of the consequences of something that you want. Who else will suffer under it? Because then suddenly you're reaching out a hand to really despicable things. You should remember that, right? Yes? It's none of my business what goes on in your bedroom. So stay in your closet. But I have to say that for everyone. Right? Heterosexuals, queers, all them other, just stay in your bedroom. I do ask and plead, please prevent children from getting hurt like that. Okay? Maybe one thing we all can work on, and that blessing will heal and help many people. Right? Yes? Okay. All right. God's love and blessings always. Now, I'll talk to you another time.